Welcome to the NS9 Postgame Show, powered by Primanti Brothers. I am Ryan. With me is Anthony DiNardo. DiNardo, it's another NS9 After Dark.
That it is. It is currently 12:58 a.m. We were chosen to do this game. So therefore we're the picked idiots for tonight.
We did, though, kind of say we were available. So
yeah,
part of it was on us.
True. Fair point.
But yeah, Pirates lose 9-5 in the opening game in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. Keller on the mound today was hit pretty hard, looked like, and Pirates just, once again, we see the offense battle back, but just wasn't enough in this one. And the Pirates lose. So just, was this now 5 in a row for the Pirates?
Yeah,
it's
yes.
5 in a row.
5 in a row.
5 in a row. I mean, by losses
in their last 8.
Yeah, not great. Not great, Bob.
Not going good, Bob.
But yeah, we'll get into all that. But yeah, I mean, it went about as much as you could expect a game against the Dodgers in LA to go. Even though the Pirates usually seem to play well against the Dodgers when you're not expecting it. But no, today wasn't it.
No, it certainly was not. And I'll tell you what, before we get into it, let's let you all know BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything online sports betting. Right now, you can receive a 50% free bet up to $250 on your first deposit to bet on anything from the Olympics to baseball to Formula One racing. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get on the game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today, get on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. BetOnline, the game starts here. Yeah, man. I guess like freshly coming off the NS9 Live last night, where it was more or less this team's cooked, but if there's any hope, right? Like the next 6 games are pretty crucial. And now, I mean, you take this loss. Mitch Keller is one of your stoppers. And that's the one thing. Yep. Like you talked about the Dodgers. The Pirates have had some oddly successful times in series against the Dodgers. You know, we talked, they swept them in 2022 when David Bednar had that 3-inning save. Right. They played good. So if you're going to have some hope, if this team is going to have that opportunity and chance to be a playoff team for 2024, it starts right now with the Dodgers, of course, and into the Padres series. And, Mitch Keller being the starter, Mitch Keller being the stopper, the veteran starting pitcher that you can, you have that trust in. He didn't do it. He definitely did not get the job done today.
Yeah, I mean, starts the game off. Freddie Freeman takes him deep, which, I mean, look, the Dodgers lineup, we know it's loaded. Freeman gives up a home run to Ohtani, and it just things spiral from there. So, I mean, what'd you think of Keller overall? Obviously, this wasn't the start you were hoping for from him today. Like you said, he's your stopper. He's the guy you want out there on the mound. He's going to go deep into the game. He's going to give you a chance to win. This just really wasn't that. I mean, he was in the hole early with this team, and I mean, it's a tough lineup you're facing. So, what'd you think of Keller overall?
Well, honestly, like the thing is, the game starts with Ohtani up 1, 2, 3 straight fastballs, strikes out Ohtani, and immediately I'm thinking, okay, Keller's on tonight. Like, this is it. Again, for the people that have hope for this Pirates season to get back on track, for Mitch Keller to be the guy still that we think he is. You go right and face Ohtani and strike him out right away. Feeling pretty good. And then Teoscar Hernandez comes up, strikes him out as well. Back-to-back strikeouts, feeling pretty good. Freeman comes up, and he had him low in the count. He gets a home run. And you know what? Freddie Freeman is that dude. And like you mentioned, this lineup's going to be good. This is going to be one of those games where, I mean, you're probably going to get a few runs, or they're probably going to get a few runs against the Pirates, that the offense is going to have to be present. But it was like, you know what? It's one home run. It's a solo shot. Freddie Freeman, he won that one. It was not the greatest pitch. It was a cutter, of course. Where's Dougie Fresh? But you know what? He won. It happens. Gets through the lineup again. Paz comes up to bat. He's the number 9 hitter. And it's one of those things. By the way, Stephen Brault making his first play-by-play tonight on the broadcast did an excellent job.
I wanted to talk about that too. I don't know if right now is the spot, but
we'll get to it.
Okay.
But I felt like it was just so timely because it's what everyone's thinking. And Pirate fans, you all can relate to this. It's the Pittsburgh Pirates. He literally says on the broadcast, with Ohtani up next, and then you're facing the late guys, what you don't want to do is put people on here with Ohtani up. And what does he do? He walks him. He walks Paz. Ohtani comes up. Boom. Crushes it, by the way. And now it's a 3-0 ball game. And that's what we're talking about. Like Freeman, it's a solo shot. It's okay. It's 1-0.
Yeah.
You walk the 9th hitter. I don't want to go too hard. It's totally inexcusable, but that's part of the inexcusable things that there are. You can't have that happen. And he does, and Ohtani makes him pay. 3-0 ball game. And then it just unraveled from there, basically.
Yeah, you can't walk the 9 hitter in front of Ohtani, like you said. It's just it's going to lead to a bad time, and it did here. And yeah, like you said, when you just and then after it spirals from there, you're down 6-0, and you're against the Dodgers. Now, granted, the Pirates offense did battle back, but I mean, at that point, asking for 7 runs at that point, DiNardo is a little much on the road against the Dodgers. So, it just the cutter. I just want to mention the cutter again. He threw it 6 times tonight. Like Keller has so many pitches. Does this and he always throws the cutter like a handful of times, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Like it's just, does throwing the cutter really work his repertoire around where it's like he needs it? Like I just don't get it. I just don't get. And it always seems like there's a home run coming off of it. It always gets doesn't get really swings and misses. Like it just why is the cutter there? Why are we still throwing it? It's used so infrequently.
Yeah. It's a mixed bag, I say. And like tonight is kind of proof of it. He threw it 6 times, had 4 swings on it, 2 balls were in play, 2 whiffs. It's his worst pitch. I feel the same, but he is a good pitcher and he still finds success with it. I don't know.
But he also gives up home runs with it.
And again, like tonight, by no means is like blaming it on the cutter. Again, he didn't have. He was getting hit hard and often tonight. It just is what it is. And yeah, Sean says like usage has gone down, and it did. Again, he only threw it 6 times. But to your point, he threw it twice, and at that point had both times balls in play. One being the home run, one being a regular hit. I forget what the hit actually was, but yeah. And then he threw it some more and got whiffs on it. I mean, the 4-seam was looking pretty good. He was going to swing and misses. He was throwing up high. The 4-seam up high. They were having a tough time with it for the most part. When he was missing his spots, which is kind of what was happening, they were getting good wood on it and finding grass.
Yeah, I'm with Sean 100% with that comment I just posted. Like, yeah, it has gone down, but like, just get rid of it. I'm just like, what's it really doing at this point? Throwing it at 5 times a game or whatever. It seems weird to me, but here we are. So, but yeah, anytime like I said, your starter goes out and you're all of a sudden you're down 6-0 to the Dodgers, it's just you're not going to win very many games like that. And that's just where the Pirates are right now. Like, we've seen the hitting not come alive, but they haven't been bad. Like, the bats haven't been bad. They've been scoring runs somehow. They've been battling back, coming back in games, and now the pitching is like reversed. Of course, the pitching just all of a sudden you can't rely on it. We're not getting 7 innings from our starting pitcher and 1 run, 2 runs, no runs. Like, they're getting hit, and if it's not the starting pitching, then it's the bullpen or something. So it's just nothing is going right for this team right now, and it's at the worst time.
Well, yeah, definitely at the worst time. You make a good point. You said something and it just clicked in my head. Now, we all know before the All-Star break when Mitch Keller was just randomly pulled after, I think, 3 innings, that ruined his stretch of 6, innings or
5
more.
innings. Yeah.
5, my bad. 5 innings or more. Yep. And today, rightfully so, like, had that stretch continued, because he would have stayed in that game because he was also pitching fine that game. Yeah, it would have ended today for sure. I mean, he only lasted.
Well, it ended in that rain delay too.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right.
So, yeah, he's hit because, like I said, whether the Chicago game was planned or not, where they pulled him out, yeah, he's just kind of run into this. He had the bad luck with the rain delay, so he had a short outing there. And then today,
this would be like the first truly by results pulled, I guess.
Right. Right. If that's, I don't know what the whole Chicago thing was. We never got a really explanation if that's why they pulled him. If it was performance, or were they actually just pulling him out because they wanted to rest him? But
right.
Like I said, I'm not worried about Keller moving forward with this start. He's not going to be the last starting pitcher to have a tough game against the Dodgers, but
right.
It just,
but again,
it is what it
7
is.
earned today, 4 innings. He did have the 5 strikeouts, but the 2 home runs. Yeah. It was. You had that feeling that the game was over. 3rd inning, it's 6-0. We see how this is going. Domingo Germán's warming up in the bullpen.
Yay!
It's like, oh boy, Well, I guess after 4th he was, but still, after 3 or 6-0. But hey, like, to your point you're talking of, it was 6-0, and also to the point we're talking about with last night, like, this team doesn't give up. They're not good enough to find ways to win yet, but they don't give up. And Oneil Cruz, right away, home run, makes it a 6-1 ball game. And okay, there's a little bit of life here. Like, okay, it's a Cruz home run, it's a 6-0 ball game, but like, the offense found some life. And then later in the ball game as well, 2 guys are on, and Joey Bart's up. First a lefty. Oh no, my bad. No, it was already. And hits a 3-run shot. And now it's like, you know what? This team's kind of in it again. It's still at that point of 7-4, but again, like, this team has fight, and there's your 4 runs. And of course, we'll talk a little bit here. Like, Cruz had another hit for an RBI, made it 5 runs. So the team scored 5 runs today. Like, it's not really been the offense that's the problem.
Right.
If like, you're heading into this game and we said, like, hey, the offense is going to score 5 runs, you have Mitch Keller up on the mound, you probably were feeling pretty good. This might be a W.
It would have been 2 months ago, because we were begging for 5 runs 2 months ago, and that would have won how many games? So, yeah, like you mentioned, they keep battling back, and we've said it so many times. If Reynolds and Cruz aren't producing, like, what's this offense doing? Can I officially throw Bart into that now? If Reynolds, Cruz, and Bart aren't doing anything, then this offense isn't producing. But yeah, Bart again comes through, and both things, it was via the home run. Like, the home run, they come, if the team's homering, that's how they're mostly scoring their bulk of their runs. Obviously, it makes sense. And unfortunately, they just don't do it as frequently as we would like. But yeah, man, Bart has been coming up with these huge home runs, and Bart's always seems like it's always like a multi-run home run, doesn't it? Like, he doesn't just hit a solo shot late in the game. He's always coming through with he had the one the other day against the Padres, 2-run home run to take the lead. He had a big one here tonight. Yeah, Bart's been great.
But at the same time, it always never matters. It's
well,
so
it didn't
oddly
it didn't matter because our bullpen in that game just
he comes up
collapsed.
big, big clutch home runs, grand slams, even, and the team loses.
Right. You're right. But it's like he's just, like I said, it was his only hit of the game, but it was a huge home run
Yeah.
at that point. And yeah, they just keep battling back. And that's the thing. It's like we saw this offense go dormant for months, and now they're just, they just keep battling back. And unfortunately, it didn't matter tonight. But yeah, it was. But yeah, I mean, like I said, home runs are good. Hit them over the park, over the fence, and good things will happen. But that was pretty much it.
Yeah. But like what I want to add on to that is like the runs did outside of the one that came in the ninth inning when the game was already out of reach, right? But the 4 runs came off of 2 runs, which again is good.
Right.
You want to have
going
home
with
run,
the other at bats, yeah.
But right. I mean, the Pirates were actually getting on base. And as someone said here earlier, I mean, the Pirates did out hit the Dodgers. You know, I mean, they had 11 hits. They also had 2 walks. The Dodgers had 8 hits and 4 walks. But there was oftentimes, 2 guys on base, strikeout. 2 guys on base, strikeout. And that's the thing. I mean, there were 2 for 2 for 12 today, runners in scoring position.
Yep.
So the home runs were good, but again, like the problem they have a lot of times is when there's guys on base producing, doing the small things right. We always oftentimes talk about like the things that the Cardinals do. Yes, I feel like there's more talent with the Pirates, but the Cardinals are always doing the correct things, the right things, the small things well, and the Pirates just don't. And again, just to kind of point out tonight, it was a big part of it because he's saw some action there, but Yasmani Grandal 0 for 4 strikeouts, which let's just rewind once again to go back to that game, Ryan, when should he have been pitch hit for or not? And Shelton says, well, he's had good at bats recently. Well, he's 0 for 4. And you know what? The guy that probably should have pinch hit for him has had 2 home runs since that game.
Right. That's what I said in that game with when Bart homered against the Padres. I was like, it's just another reason why he should have pinch hit the game before.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Bart's, I mean, he's batting what, like 430 or 440 now against lefties on the year. And again, today the home run wasn't against the lefties, also a righty, but 2 home runs in 2 games since that game where he watched Yasmani Grandal go up there and hit a dribbler to second base, I believe. But tonight, just over 4 strikeouts. His batting average is down to a 191. His OPS to 557. Just Yasmani Grandal.
Yeah, 16 strikeouts overall for the Pirates tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And
when they weren't putting the ball in play, which oftentimes they were striking out.
Yeah, it was either one or the other, right?
Yep.
But Flaherty was this probably his second start with the Dodgers since the trade. Maybe
they said it's his first in LA.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think he was only his second, but yeah, he, like I said, I mean, they got the 2 home runs off of him, but he had 10 strikeouts. They had 16 overall in the game. It's just the Pirates they're not good enough. They're either striking out or, like you said, it's in play, but way too many strikeouts from this team.
Right.
Even with the 5 runs, but yeah, just awful with runners in scoring position, which is nothing new there. And yeah, if they're not hitting the ball over the fence, then they're not scoring. And that's kind of it's kind of been in this stretch where I'd say the Pirates offense has been better. It's still not good enough. And that's usually what happens. If it's not a home run, it's they're just they're not stringing together like 3 hits in a row. Like you said, they're getting on base, but they just, at some point we run into Grandal in the lineup or Hayes or Michael Way Taylor, even though Michael Way Taylor had 2 hits tonight. But at some point you're running into somebody in this lineup who isn't great. And yeah, then it doesn't work. De La Cruz 0 for 3 tonight.
He did have a walk. His first walk in a Pirates, or no, he had one earlier.
I think he had a walk before.
Yeah, you're right. But again, it's a problem.
Like you brought him here for the power, and we haven't seen it.
No, and like he was having a really good at bat. I mean, he was battling. He was fouling off. He had one. I mean, he pulled 2, I think, in a row that went pretty deep. Of course, foul. But then he watched strike three go down the middle, and just like, this is what frustrates you. It's like, hey, Brian De La Cruz, you've been christened. You're now officially a Pittsburgh Pirate. Connor Falefa did like the same thing as well. I mean, he was up there and he saw strike three go right down the middle. And like, it's not the pass plan. Like, he has been productive. He had 2 hits tonight as well and a walk. Also made some really good plays in the field. So like, again, it's also not like, hey, this is your fault, IKF and whatnot. But he did watch strike three go right down the middle. And yeah, Reynolds didn't have the greatest game today at the plate. Also not the greatest game in the field. Could we talk about that a little bit here? So Domingo Germán does come into the game. And again, I have to say, like, he didn't look good in this. Now, he was giving up a lot of hard hits, but results wise really should have been there. He did his job. He had pitched 75. He had threw 75 pitches. He had to come in and give some length, and he did. I mean, you could say to save the bullpen, but I mean, I don't know.
Well, that's
if you worry or care about the bullpen being saved at this point in time.
At this point, right. Well, they needed something, so it did. The rest of the bullpen is saved, I guess, or fresh.
Again, if it matters.
He gave up 1 hit. Obviously, we'll talk about it. It was a home run. But do you think, like, so let's say Keller goes 7 in this game. Do you think Germán's the option no matter what coming out of the pen tonight? Or do you think it was like if the Pirates are leading or it's a tie game going into the 7th or 8th? Like, do you think it's we're going to the horses in the pen, even though they haven't been good? Or was like Germán kind of set up to be this the follower kind of like for no matter what? Like I'm kind of wondering. We're never going to really know because Keller only went 4 and Germán comes in, but it's kind of interesting. I wonder if that was the plan to go to him no matter what.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I guess I would assume no.
Well, I would hope not,
but
because that's kind of silly.
Really, no.
I don't know.
Yeah,
right.
It just worked out that way that Keller didn't go and he had to come in and do his duties. But yeah. So again, to talk about the play, he gave up what he was doing. It was a hard hit ball deep into the outfield. And Brian Reynolds ran back on it. Should have just made the out. Like, should have just simply made the out, like catching the baseball. One of the simplest fundamentals of baseball, right? Doesn't do so. I'm not saying it was like the easiest catch in the world to do, but like,
right.
That's kind of what we're talking about when we mentioned how Brian Reynolds is not playing well in the outfield this year. Yeah, this is a good example of it. Should have just made the out, and it bounces off his glove and turns into a home run. So like, again, that's what you go into to give Germán, I guess, some props here in that sense. Like, he does have 2 earned, but like that should not have happened for him at all. That's an out. Brian Reynolds created a home run off of a fly out.
And this happened before this year, has it not? Did he not do the same exact thing in another game? If I'm recalling?
I don't think not like this. I remember he was trying to rob a home run. Like, it was rightfully a home run.
Right.
That there was, this oddly enough, that you don't see this, but of course, Pirate fans, we see everything. But I think it happened like back-to-back innings where it was like literally like 4 inches away from his glove trying to rob it. But again, those were actual home runs. This was almost Jose Canseco-ish without actually bouncing off of his actual head.
Right. But that's the thing. Like, I remember the other game and it was like, how does he keep having these situations in the outfield? And again, his defense hasn't been good this year, so it's not stunning. But by the way, just quick shout out to Zach here, who says he loves the podcast. Appreciate that, Zach. Thank you. And he says he wants more Tyler, though. I do too.
So
Tyler's definitely in bed, but
he's up at 122 watching a Pirates podcast, and he says he wants more Tyler. Clearly, there's something wrong with him. So there's no validity in him saying this is a good podcast. Clearly, it's not.
There's something wrong with all of us being up at 1:30 in the morning here talking about this game. And there's people in the chat, so we appreciate it for sure. But yeah, Reynolds in the field, it hasn't been good, DiNardo? No, it hasn't. It has not.
Arm's been great.
Yeah.
But to get to the arm has not been good.
No.
Right.
But I want to mention real quick on De La Cruz, because you've I don't know if it was tweeted out or a reel or whatever we done, but talking about Cruz and the numbers on the season and with the Pirates, and they haven't been good overall. Obviously, I think he was it 3 for 22 going into tonight, so now 3 for 25. But it's like, oh, it's small sample size. Well, yeah, it is small sample size with the Pirates, which is what matters now moving forward. But his numbers overall for the whole season are below average. Like he's been a below average hitter for
He's now at a
2024 season.
680 OPS.
Yeah. So it's like, yes,
Which
he
he was
hasn't
under
done
a 90 weighted runs created plus. So I could look it up right
right.
now, actually, too.
But that's what I'm saying. But like coming into, yes, he hasn't been great with the Pirates in this short amount of time. But overall, for the whole season, he's been below average. And you'll find the actual numbers out here in a minute. But yeah, De La Sawinski, De La Cruz, Olivares. I mean, that's the thing. Like De La Cruz was brought here and was like, well, is he better than Sawinski and Olivares? Yes, he has been. But now he's just he's not being. We haven't seen the power. He had 18 home runs on the year. We haven't seen any of that. And yeah, it's just like, what would you say you do here?
Nothing. No, it's an 87 weighted runs created plus now. So again, like your corner outfielder that you traded for because you need power and offense is 13% below just average, just major leaguer. Not even corner outfielders, just major league hitters, which includes your light hitting Alika Williams. They're all in there.
Right.
So yeah, it hasn't been good. So, and again, since coming on over, he does have 4 hits. And no, Ryan, we were mistaken. That is his first walk.
Great.
Did he get hit by a pitch? I recall him being
that could be it
on base for no, he wasn't. It must have been hit. No, tonight was his first walk then. So we take it back. Tonight was his first walk.
But yeah, 238 average, 680 OPS that you mentioned. He's been below average for the whole season. And again, I don't really care about the 18. Yeah, I don't really care with that too. I don't really care about the 18 home runs before he became a Pirate. Like they got him to be, to produce. Like he hasn't. So it's been a short amount of time, but we'll see how he finishes out this year. But yeah, but you got the control, DiNardo. So that's great.
This isn't the time.
I know.
But I promise everybody, because I have so many thoughts and feelings, and we've let some of them out, but yeah, he's probably gonna be one person I go hard on this offseason. So it's coming.
Right. Great. We'll look forward to that.
But let's talk about another Cruz who is performing. I mean, I got to give it to him. So again, we talked about the home run he had earlier. He also had a double in the game, and the RBI single. So, if the Pirates offense could have strung along in the 9th inning, he was only a trip away from a cycle.
Yeah, and another 3-hit game for him.
Yeah, but I do want to say something here because I know he gets a lot of hate for different reasons, and a lot of it rightfully so, most of it not. But little different stat. I'm not using June 1st today. I'm using July 1st. But honestly, since July 1st, he's actually been hitting lefties very well, and that's something we've kind of talked about. But today it was another lefty. He had a hit, so he's hitting. He has 7 extra base hits. Today's double gave him the 7th extra base hit versus lefties since July 1st, and in that time he's batting .353 versus lefties. So encouraging, right? Now he has been playing better, especially with the bat, and like since May and since June, like he's progressively, like you're seeing better at bats by him. But the biggest thing I think is coming right now, and it's still a small sample, I get it. But what is encouraging is against the lefties, he's actually been producing. And it's not even like he's just getting some bloop singles, or he's not going up there and looking like a Brian Hayes and it goes between the second and shortstop and he magically gets on first base because they just could have been in a better position, Right. Like he's hitting for power. 3 home runs, 4 doubles, and 5 singles. And again, like those are all versus lefties, and it's the magic, you can't get better unless you see them. And he's been in the lineup for the most part, and I know it's been more like in the the later part of the lineup. You can argue where he should be, but he's been in the lineup opposed to being taken out versus lefties. So he's seen them, and he's starting to maybe find some success. So yeah, Oneil Cruz, 3 hits today, the double against a lefty. And again, he's been doing very well versus lefties, over the last month.
Yeah. So 3 for 5 today. He went 3 for 5 in the last game against the Padres. He's got 12 hits in 6 games now in August, DiNardo. Cruz
Okay.
is just, he's playing well. And, we talked about the lapses and throwing error and getting thrown out at second. And I mean, this is basically Cruz's, this is like his first full season in the majors. He had the injury last year. I think he'll be okay. I think he just needs to mature into that guy, and whether he sticks at shortstop or not, we'll see. But I mean, at this point, I don't see why you would move him from it. But he's been better at the plate. He's been great, like you mentioned. He's improved against lefties. I can't it's just Cruz has been the guy that you wanted to see at the plate. Maybe you want to see a little more consistency, but I mean, you mentioned the numbers, whether it's July 1st, June 1st, he's been hitting, he's been good. Throw
and apparently
any
August
date
1st.
out there. Yeah. August 1st, even better. 12 hits in 6 games. So I don't, so yeah, he's been the guy, and hopefully we see, it's weird to say you want to see more power from him. But I mean, he's probably going to come in under 30 home runs this year. Unless he goes on a torrid pace here. But yeah, man, you just see more consistency overall. Obviously, you want to see the errors come down, but I'm liking where Cruz is at, and we're moving on from here.
Yeah. Yep. And I guess to use the months, each month it seems to be progressively better. So it's not even as if it's just he's coming to the zone and just kind of been there, but it's progressively getting better also, which makes you hopeful on what the future is and all the stuff that you're talking about right now. So yeah, I guess towards the end of May, early June-ish was the official about 1 year's worth of stats of a MLB, career for Cruz. And so now you're seeing the rookie stuff behind him. You're seeing that first full year stuff behind him and him coming into that zone. And he's been looking much better at the plate. And again, I think the most, not the most important, but what's very important, encouraging is the fact that he also is hitting lefties right now. You can build that confidence and you can start hitting lefties. We don't need a 353 pace for his career, but just to be adequate against lefties. Yeah. Yeah. You want to see this from Oneil Cruz. So good game from him today as well. But again, as a team, just wasn't able to do it. Wasn't able to come up as clutch as they could and probably should have been offensively. But again, they scored 5 runs. You're not putting blame on the offense. Mitch Keller didn't get it done today. That's just plain as day is what it was.
Yeah. And I wanted to moving forward, with Domingo Germain, do you think, is he just going to pitch out of the bullpen? Is he going to be this long reliever? Is he here long term? What do you think's happening here with this?
Well, we were all worried what happened last night. And when the news broke that it sounds as if he's being promoted, because it wasn't confirmed yet, but also sounds like he may be starting. That's what was presented to us. It's all we could take, right? That's what we were given, and you kind of run with it. And, so what's happening here? Are they pushing back Keller, which maybe they should have, but we weren't sure what was going to happen. It turns out he's in the bullpen. So, okay, that I feel better about with him being, utilized in this team. But I guess I would just imagine he's going to be in the bullpen. Just plain as day, he's going to be relegated into the bullpen. I don't want him as a starter. I certainly don't. And I guess with the news, Jared Jones is on his rehab, so he'll be coming back here as well.
You don't need him as a starter.
Yeah, so I don't anticipate him being there. He's probably just going to be into the bullpen.
Yeah, as I tweeted out the other, the Pirates front office was like, "Hey, everybody's mad at us. How can we make it worse? How can we make them even more upset? Let's call this guy up."
Because, I know.
But here we are. I don't know, DiNardo. You got anything else about from this game tonight?
That's really it, I guess.
Hayes had another single.
It's just, yeah, like, I know he was
Like
1 for 4, but it was just his typical up the middle, just wasn't it was just out of the reach between the second and shortstop.
like
Now, he did hit one away pretty deep, which I jokingly said that's out of Petco, so save it for the next few days, and then it'll know if that'll count. But it was a fly out.
yeah. And he was close to a home run in the Padres series that the last
True.
game, and he had 2 singles. He's become like a singles, not machine, but that's like all he's hitting. I don't know. Like if Hayes, and like I said, Hayes isn't looked good or great, but I think somebody said in their comment he's looked better, and I will agree with that. I mean, it's a low bar from where he was.
You know how he looks better? He looks better in the way of, well, Brian De La Cruz is better than Jack Sawinski.
Right, exactly. Like the bar is low, folks.
Right.
But like, yeah, like if he's is he becoming this singles hitter? But like, if he was a singles hitter and just hit like 260 with his defense, I mean, I guess we're taking that like at this point, right? Because he's looked so bad this first half of the year.
Right. Yes, he basically has though. I mean, Jim said it in joke like Oneil Cruz has doubled his extra base hits than Brian Hayes since June 1st. Today, Oneil Cruz today had twice as many extra base hits than Brian Hayes has had since June 1st.
It's crazy.
So, and I jokingly said last night too. I'm not jokingly, it was like legit. Like that double, I do believe, because I remember like creating the video for was that hit that went over Fam's head because he was just playing so shallow. Like that probably wasn't out a lot of times.
Right.
Like
But like you said,
tonight's fly out.
You mentioned, yeah, he's having, I guess, better at bats, and we're grasping at straws here, but like you said, like the results besides a single here or there really haven't been there. But I think it's encouraging. I mean, I say that in like the smallest expectations possible, but it's like from where he was at, it seems better. I don't know. We'll take something, but hey, I don't know. Tomorrow is Skeens Day. Skeens
If that means anything
versus
anymore.
Ohtani. I know. It's something we have to, like I said, we're grasping at straws here. So if tomorrow is Skeens facing a very good lineup in the Dodgers, so it'll be something to watch there. And yeah, we'll see. Who's the Dodger? Are the Dodgers throwing River Ryan tomorrow? Is that who we're going up against? So yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's Fall Skeens Day. That's always exciting for Ball Skeens, but they used to mean something in the sense of Pirates are going to go out here and win, and I don't know if they do that anymore on Paul Skeens Day.
Yeah.
So, anyways, though,
could be his last start because who knows if they shut him down.
Stop it. We will be back tomorrow.
His last.
Doug and I will be on. We also planned that Doug was going to miss Mitch Keller's start today. Thank the Lord.
I tried to be. I talked about the cutter. I tried to be Doug for a little bit here. So
there you go.
But
I want to end it. I want to end it on one thing. And this is coming into today's game because we just talked about Brian Hayes and how awful of a hitter is. And everyone that's probably listening right now and watching can agree that we all don't think Brian Hayes is a good hitter, right? A lot of people are saying trade him. He's awful. He's a liability. It doesn't even matter how good he is defensively. He's a liability on the offense. Brian Hayes has a career OPS of 705. Brian De La Cruz career OPS is 717.
Mm-hmm.
He's not much better than Brian Hayes. And this was your Lord. This is your savior at the trade deadline.
Underwhelming, DiNardo.
That's where I'm leaving it at.
Yeah. That's a good spot.
This De La Cruz thing is just eating at me more and more each and every day. So there you go. If you hate Brian Hayes, De La Cruz is 12 points better OPS wise than Brian Hayes for his career. Let's get out of here.
That's why I'm already getting very worried, DiNardo, about this offseason. I'm very concerned that we're just gonna punt the offseason again and come in with, hey, we got De La Cruz, we'll just roll with him again, and hey, we'll pick up some first baseman that's not any good. And I don't know. I'm concerned. Let's go.
All right, let's get out of here. It's been 40 minutes after this. It's 1:37 a.m.
We're nuts. We
and
are crazy.
These idiots are watching us still.
And we didn't even give out sandwiches. It's no good.
I know. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.